everybody, and welcome back to the Blossom Review. How are you? Today we're reviewing Nippon TV's The Greatest Teacher, a 2023 fantasy mystery that has just been added to Netflix. If you've watched NTV's remarkable Mr. Hiragi's Homeroom or maybe OCN's Class of Lies, I am sure that The Greatest Teacher will sound somehow familiar to you. The Greatest Teacher is a 10-episode series that follows chemistry teacher Kujo Rina, played by Matsuoka Mayu. After the graduation ceremony at Horai High School, Rina gets pushed off the 4th floor. As she falls to the ground, Rina notices that the culprit is one of her senior students and wonders why that would ever happen. Suddenly, she finds herself back in the previous year's opening ceremony. Aware that in a year from then, one of the students in front of her will try to kill her, Rina decides to do whatever it takes to change her fate. The Greatest Teacher may fall into the formulaic and overly rely on long-winded dialogues, but it offers a relevant, stirring coming-of-age story populated by fierce characters. Rina's journey bursts with courage and optimism and resilience, never shying away from exploring a range of heavy themes that haunt teachers and students nowadays. This review is spoiler-free, so don't worry if you haven't watched the show yet. The Greatest Teacher eschews the rose-colored glasses of sweet high school rom-coms and dares to look at Japanese society as it is, with all its pressure, demands, and idiosyncrasies. This is a gritty portrayal of contemporary classroom power play, but it keeps the depiction of actual violence minimal, to be honest. Even so, The Greatest Teacher can still be fairly dark, but this darkness is constantly counteracted by Irina's utmost faith in her students. Even if its devices aren't always completely realistic, The Greatest Teacher fully invests in the development of its characters, allowing them to blossom throughout its run into more empathetic, confident, and self-aware versions of themselves. Bittersweet and hopeful, The Greatest Teacher is almost an idealistic campaign against bullying and suicide among young people. It chooses to believe in our ability to change, to evolve, and to genuinely connect with the people around us. This thematic consistency permeates the entire narrative and all its character arcs, never straying away from its core message. Be who you want to be, stand up for what you believe in, respect everyone's uniqueness, and live on, because things can always change as long as you are alive. Every episode of Rina's story illustrates how adolescence is marked by an almost uncontrollable desire to be accepted by others, even if that means foregoing your own identity. It's all about fitting in, avoiding being seen as weird, and finding a place where you belong. Rina's students are a reflection of a society that appreciates conformity, but as their homeroom teacher, Rina chooses to break the vicious cycle they live in by showing them that the concept of normal is nothing but a fallacy. You don't need to fit in. You just need to embrace who you are and be proud of it. There is nothing wrong with being different because everybody is somehow different. As she teaches them the importance of respecting these differences, all the while recognizing that we all feel the same joys and pains, Rina fosters a sense of responsibility and accountability in her students for their actions and for the effects they will have on others. Rina then encourages them to be more self-confident. She shows them that vulnerability is a strength, that opening up takes courage, and that actively listening to others is the only way forward. However, The Greatest Teacher never forgives and forgets. This is a story that believes that our wounds remain even in the face of the most sincere apologies. But It is the memory of our failures. It is the memory of our sorrows. It is the memory of the ones who are gone that make us who we are and prompt us to keep evolving. It goes without saying then that the greatest teacher excels at establishing solid character arcs. Rina's students go from unbearable, self-absorbed to humane and determined individuals, leading to a fairly cathartic experience for us watching it. Rina is a fascinating protagonist who goes from a meek, gullible teacher to the persistent, fearless leader of a revolution, pretty much. At work, she learns her purpose as a teacher, a journey that allows the show to explore explore a bit of this reciprocal relationship between teacher and student. At home, she needs to reassess her role within her relationship with her husband, the marvelous Kujoren, played by an extremely charming Matsushita Kohei. Ren and Rina receive an exceptional romantic subplot which reflects the show's themes within their marriage. As a couple, they needed to reconnect and strengthen their bond, and I must confess that their scenes make up for some of the series' very, very best. Ren believes and supports Rina wholeheartedly without ever playing the role of the ultimate savior. With all these elements standing out as the show's strengths, it's important to mention that The Greatest Teacher also has its fair share of weaknesses. While the mystery itself is excellent and full of nicely placed twists and turns, the narrative structure is fairly repetitive and the pacing can get a bit sluggish. For the first 5 episodes, the show sticks to the exact same framework over and over again. But then halfway through episode 5, that structure changes. After all, Rina is constantly changing the future, so her actions start having unpredictable results, which shake off a bit of the show's repetitiveness and leads to a more dynamic second half. Even so, pacing continues to feel slow with the script's overuse of flashbacks, recurring lines, and way too many monologues, really. The Greatest Teacher's greatest weakness is its dialogue. The script is drowning in expository dialogue that often feels contrived and sermonic. That's why the show's alluring mystery ends up weakly executed, because The Greatest Teacher is composed of very long sequences in which characters are kept monologuing for what seems to be an eternity. Everything is explained to us word by word all the time. Adding to that, camera work is also fairly static, which stops it from attracting attention to itself and gives these sequences an even greater theatrical flair. So the final question is, should you watch The Greatest Teacher? If you're patient enough to sit through these characters' long-winded conversations, The Greatest Teacher does offer a profoundly rewarding journey. Its sorrowful tone never becomes overwhelming thanks to a group of compelling characters whose dynamics and personalities are always evolving. Fearless and confident about its themes, this is a story that uses fantasy as an effective device, but it never allows it to steal the spotlight. How and why Irina manages to go back in time is of little importance to this narrative. After all, this is about what she does with this opportunity. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're looking for a heavy fantasy element, you're not really gonna find it here. Letting go of science fiction lore to focus on the coming-of-age drama of Irina's students and the mystery that guides her life, The Greatest Teacher knows exactly what story it wants to tell, even though it stumbles a little bit in its execution. Despite its shortcomings, the show counts on a talented cast, an excellent plot, and an incredibly positive message. All in all, The Greatest Teacher is a rare example of a drama that dares to explore the harshness of adolescence without sensationalized violence. offering it a healthy dose of hope that things can always get better instead. The Greatest Teacher is available on Netflix. Quick reminder that this review is also available on the Blossom Review, so I'll leave a link in the description if you guys would like to give it a read. Guys, I really hope you like this video and you subscribe so I can see you here every week for a new review. Thank you so very much for being here. I hope you have a lovely day today, a lovely weekend ahead, and take very good care of yourself. I'll see you very soon. Big kiss.